live in the Facebook Pay to Promote group in the next few moments, and I will be getting very loud. Memo. Get the memos going. Thank you, Pay to Promote. Record to this cloud. We should be live. Are you live there? We're live there. Okay. Thank you for joining. Corey, please let me know if I'm coming through loud and clear on Facebook. Pay to Promote members, welcome to downtown San Antonio, Soledad Street at the Central Library. Launch SA is our workspace. We've got more room out there, a big old wall. If you guys have some trouble seeing what I'm doing, we can move the meeting out there. I just want to keep it quick on the ideas of what we're working on today. It's going to be the 4 pillars. So the 4 things that we need in order to ensure our success with booking high ticket sales. At the end of this, you will have a good blueprint outline, okay? The outline being you'll have an idea of what it is that you need on these 4 pillars and the things that are involved inside of those. To actually get the full blueprint, so let's say you're an architect or a technician, you don't need a whole bunch of instructions. You get the blueprint, you have everything you need. To get that, you just grab the Pay to Promote system. This webinar will be tied to the white papers and all the docs probably Monday at the latest. Here it is, Wednesday, the 25th of September. So let's get started. I do have some notes because this wasn't really a prepared webinar. If you want to take notes with me, I definitely welcome that. And Urbano, your camera is really blurry. You might have something on your camera. I don't know. Wipe it off. There we go. That's way better. That is way better. Okay, so the idea here is take some notes. Thanks, Corey, for letting me know we sound good on Facebook. If you would like to join us directly in Zoom to ask your own questions, go ahead and do that. I am not able to see your Facebook right now because I'm recording audio in my pocket. Good little tip, if you've never done that before, you can just take memos and sync it with your video so that you have a better audio recording for your video and you don't have to have a fancy lapel or anything like that. At the end of this event here on Facebook, we will provide you a link to these notes and all the steps for each series of the blueprint. So just to get started, I want to talk about what it means to have a buyer's journey. If you are making a high ticket sale, it all starts somewhere. We have awareness. So someone becomes aware that we exist. And so we call that in the authority blueprint. Authority is one of the stages that we will need to approach, right? But where we start in that authority is to know what it is that we need so we can take inventory. I'm going to go ahead and move my screen down a little bit here. Hopefully you can see me nice and well. And to start on authority, we have visibility. So with visibility, someone knows you exist. So are you on Facebook? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on these platforms? Are you capable of being found on Google? Is it possible, right? Is it possible that you exist online? The next is what we're talking about in this authority blueprint is you must have some authority. So when somebody sees you and you've become visible, you are seen as an expert. Okay, there's lots of ways to do that. If you guys have caught the profile optimization webinar or you've got the white paper, this is things like answering the question, how do they help me? Or who is this person? Are they a leader in their field, right? These are the kind of things that really help to determine if we're an expert. Then we have trust. This is huge. How do we build trust? First, we let people know that we can help them, and then we do that. So these are the pillars, the 6. portions of the authority blueprint. I'll get on to the 4 stages, the 4 pillars here in just a moment. Once we wrap with the 4 pillars and what those are, I'll break down the foundation a little bit so you can get started on the foundation. The next, after trust, right? These rely on each other. This is a flow. Okay, this is going to be relationships. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. So they got to know you. And when I say they, I mean your ideal buyer, your prospects. Prospect is probably the most used language in this area. So if you're looking online for other portions of this, which I'll mention you do here in just a minute, we might be looking at the word prospect. So your prospects, your ideal buyers, get to know you. Then we have an opportunity. This is where I see a lot of people mess up. What's an opportunity? An opportunity in your CRM, an opportunity in sales is not, I sell something, therefore everyone's an opportunity for me to sell them. For someone to be an opportunity in your authority blueprint, to see you as the authority and become an opportunity, they need to have a problem that you can solve. A need that you can solve. Doesn't necessarily have to be a problem, but you'll hear me talk a lot about problems because the easiest way for someone to know that you can help them is for you to solve a problem. And then they don't have to ask anymore because you've solved that problem and they know you can help. All right. After this, high ticket sales journey. You guys heard me talk a lot about the buyer's journey. This is the same thing. This is the buyer's journey, but this is specific to high ticket sales. The last part of that journey is they become a client. But that's not where we stop. We work to make sure that we delight our buyers. Whether you are selling health coaching to women who suffer from eating disorders, or you are providing health insurance and life insurance to the elderly, it does not matter. It begins a new cycle of awareness, consideration, and decision making that your prospect, now who has become a client, will either consider working with you or not further, and then continue to decide on that, whether that's making another purchase, buying a different product from you, or renewing their services with you. They're constantly in that cycle. So we set our systems up to ensure that we can delight. So this portion of the authority blueprint is the high ticket sales journey. Someone goes from visibility, they know you exist, to seeing you as an expert, to trusting that you can help, to getting to know you, like you, trust you, and then having a need that you can solve is what takes them from the prospecting stage into the buyer stage. These last two parts are, now you know you have a need that you can help. If you've gone to any of my sales training, you know we talk about pain points and how to make someone feel the pain point. Again, that's so that you can provide your solution. People have to see your solution in order to take action. So that brings me over to my next whiteboard, where I'll list out the 4 pillars. Okay, so if you are taking notes, I will give you a PDF, but this is fun to draw. It'd be good for you in your system here. Essentially, every good business, relationship, business is just relationships, right? I'm trying to avoid the word religion here, but everything starts with a foundation. If we have a good spiritual foundation, we'll have a good relationship in our spiritual journey. If we have a good business foundation, we'll have a good ability to build our skyscraper, right? If we start with the foundation, there's no integrity, we don't keep our word, we're not an authority, we're scraping for stuff, begging, pleading, you know what a lot of salespeople do. I've seen it all. You know, you're on shaky ground there. You're in the sand. You're just not keep getting buried. So, how do we avoid that? Well, we start with the foundation. So this foundation is basically broken into 3 parts, and I will break those down. You can't really see any lower. So I'll break those down over here. So we're going to have 3 parts that the foundation starts with. That's going to be our personas. That's the most common language used. If you want to go online and find a persona builder from like HubSpot, or if you need help with building personas, let me know. If you're watching this on Facebook and you've heard the term persona, but you've never put one in, give us the big question marks, right? If you know what I'm talking about, put the fire up there in chat. Give the heat, bring the heat, give me some support, and I'll keep bringing this value to you guys each Wednesday. What we're going to do with the personas is have an idea of our ideal buyer, exactly who they are. The persona is kind of an avatar. Okay, it's kind of a, I use clever names, okay, so it'd be like Sally Shoemaker, okay, that's literally the lady who works in the factory and she's 32 years old and she drives a Jeep from the 90s, okay? She's got 3 kids and she lives in this bracket in this neighborhood. When you have an ideal prospect, when you have a good persona avatar, when you know who your ideal prospects are, you will go far using this system. If you don't do this, don't do any of this other stuff. Just don't do it. Just do something else. Make it up as you go if you're not going to start at the beginning and build a good, strong foundation. The foundation then leads on to the next 2 portions. This next part is our, we'll call it persona map. Okay? What is our persona map? That is where are they? Where do they hang out? Are they online? Are they in LinkedIn? Are they at the local coffee shop? Are my ideal prospects at real estate meetups for getting leads? Or, you know, sometimes they're in a lot of these places, but if you don't know where to go and know where you should be the most visible, then you might wind up spending a lot of time in the wrong direction, doing the wrong things. The other most important part of this foundation, before we go on to the next 3 stages of a fully booked high-ticket sales calendar, what I'm saying there is most of you guys know that the big promise in this group is to be able to fill your calendar with 10 appointments per week with highly qualified buyers. This is the exact method to do that. So I started at the beginning. I gave you guys a lot of these pieces, right? So some of this is going to make sense as we plug it all in. It will all make sense when you do this work and you have value identifiers. I'm going to work on my upside down writing. Value identifiers. So these 3 aspects of building your foundation, knowing who your buyer is, exactly who they are, their pay rate, what type of vehicle they drive, things of this nature, is very imperative. Having the persona map, knowing where your people are, gives you something that if you take just 30 minutes today to find that information out, to go look at Gartner research, or if you need help finding exactly how that is, I can show you some survey methods. This meetup that we're doing is a method of finding out exactly who our personas are and our persona map. We want to know who are these people and where do they hang out? And we can do that by asking the questions and making appearances in those places and asking those people the same question. The latest is, the last in this of the foundation is the value identifiers. Again, following up with the value identifiers gives you the ability to speak the language that your buyers are speaking. I'm a highly technical software and hardware server data center guy. A lot of the language, the lingo, the tech stuff, if I go out in my living room and I start talking about it, all of my friends and family shut off real quick. We need to know the value identifiers. Does this person, I work a lot with parents, with other business owners, because we have a value that's similar. We want some time and we want legacy wealth. We want the ability to provide for our families. And those are very high level, so it's easy to go from there. But what about your product? Let's say earlier, I like this one using the example of the coach. Your value identifiers are used in something that we call, we'll get to this in just a second, a USP. Anybody know what that means? Anybody here on Facebook? I'll give you a second. Answer what this is. I'll give you just a second. Anybody who answers what this is, I'll do some work with you one-on-one. We'll spend an hour working and tuning up all your progress. So if you can answer this before I tell you, I'll make sure I give you that promise. So let's move on when I get my black marker. Remember, I'll circle back to this, why the value identifiers are so important to these three letters. Okay, after our foundation, we have a good idea of who our persona is, where they hang out, what they value. We move to the next stage, which is my buddy Dave G's favorite 3 words. Build your list. Dave G, shout out. Build your list. I love it. He has a gift that just says, build your list. All right, guys. So building your list. This is exactly what it sounds like. Who are your prospects, right? We're talking high ticket sales. If you're selling a house, you're selling $1 million homes. A lot of your business, find one person selling $1 million homes who doesn't have the majority of their business coming from referrals. To get referrals, you need business. Okay, so there's a catch-22 there. People are always more likely to buy from people they've already bought from. So building your list can be a multitude of strategies. The easiest is scraping data from the places where your people hang out, from your persona map. So we have an idea that our highest value buyers are on Facebook, and we know that we can advertise to them and spend money, but are we hitting these pain points? Are we showing up in the groups where they hang out and sharing a message that they can identify with? Build your list. So here's where I will recommend, if you haven't already grabbed the Paid to Promote system, grab the Paid to Promote system. If you're using the Chrome on your browser, we have a lot of plugins here that will help you build your list, both on LinkedIn and Facebook. They'll also help generate content, all kinds of crazy stuff going on here. It's not some MLM $30 a month buy my software thing. I see all kinds of crazy stuff out there on the social media stuff. It's not some $99 a month software to do. No, it's free. It's built for you guys. You share your problems with us. We'll help to resolve them, because we're experiencing the same problems in a lot of areas. Business owners, no matter what the business, I gave this example last week. I'll try not to get too off track here. But we're in a vehicle, right? You got to hit the pit. You got to pit stop. If you're an F1 Indy driver, you're in control of yourself, right? But you're not in control of the vehicle. You rely on your friends, your teammates, your coworkers, and oftentimes our customers. I rely on my customers to fund our companies, right? Some people have a different method of funding, but I always say having customers is the best best funding out there. So to keep on pace, I'll move us forward to the USP. I didn't see, did anybody get this, Corey? Do you know this one? What is this one?
Unique selling position.
Thank you, Dale, here with us in the group. So this is your unique selling position. Unique selling, I can't write.
I don't know why.
Proposition, position, doesn't matter what we say there. Unique selling position. I think there's a few other ways of saying that. But your USP is what sets you apart. And this is super important with the value identifiers, because going back to the coach, so a lot of us are coaches in this group. When we say, I help individuals eat more healthy regularly, that's not really telling anybody anything. We have to have a headline that says who you help, how you help, and why. Or there's a couple other formats to that. I just made some notes earlier. Let me take a look. What did I say on those three? Nope, not seeing it. I took some notes on the way here. Oh, I posted it in the group yesterday, guys. It's the value identifiers headline formula. So grab the headline formula out of there and apply what we're talking about for the value identifiers to your unique selling proposition. So instead of saying, I'm a health coach who helps women eat more healthy, we would narrow down specifically on our values where we can help and identify with those ideal buyers. So we might say, I'm a holistic health coach who helps women gain control of their weight. No. Holistic health coach who helps women dealing with trauma avoid weight gain. Okay? There's a very specific identity value there. You're looking at a very niche buyer. It's not everybody. Yeah, sure, I could deserve to eat healthier, right? But if you're trying to compete with 12 million or 6 million other advertisers on Facebook to get your ad seen by someone like me who could benefit from your program, then you need to have value identifiers that align with the program. Thank you, Dale, for chiming in there. I always want someone to have the answer. All right, so I'm moving up my little cheat sheet here. I got some notes that I will pass to you guys when this is over. The next part goes on to tie this board to this board. So this is our authority, but it's matched. This part is scripts and swipes. So what are our scripts and swipes? What are we going to say? What are we going to use to build that trust? We can start at get my free ebook on Do This Thing, right? And if we do, we get the ebook right down here, and we get the webinar, trust a little bit more. Then I get a one-on-one consultation, trust a little bit more. Then I meet in person, trust a little bit more. You know, now I'm going to buy from you. So what do you say? Who do you say? At what stage do you say it? How do you say it? We have to build all this up. So the easiest way is to start at the very end and say, okay, I want someone to buy my product. And then you go backwards from there. What does that look like? That's not the end. They got to buy other products. You guys know that. So if we start here, we want them to become a customer. And how do we get them there? Oftentimes, it takes 7 to 12 touch points. 7 times that we don't need to touch somebody in order to get in touch with them. So as soon as I finish this last part here, I will break into a 3-part discussion that you guys have heard already in the first week of this group. But this is our 3-part messaging strategy. And it aligns really well with these touch points. And going backwards, let's say somebody didn't buy, or let's say they did, and what do we do next, and how do we communicate with them? Those things are important to have if we want a steady book. Business is always just four parts. And one of those biggest parts is fulfillment. And so a lot of coaches, a lot of affiliate marketers, which we have a lot of in this group, we get off easy on the fulfillment side because we're not actually putting the product out there when we're an affiliate marketer. For the rest of us that own businesses where we're producing a product and getting that out to somebody, or there is a heavy workload in there, these touch points are huge because only 3% of people are ready to buy from us right now. Then there's 7 to 8% who don't know, right? 7 to 9%, something like that. That just don't know if they are willing to or not. So we'll nurture them through these scripts and swipes. If you'd like a good idea of what that looks like upon every stage for a software as a service company, we do have all of that already drafted. If you're looking at it for your unique industry, just shoot me or Corey or whoever invited you to this group a message and get them in touch with one of us that has the experience doing that. We are here to help. So we would love to work with you one-on-one to get that out there. It is complimentary. The benefit is we then have the knowledge of how to manage that. So moving to the next. Corey, did you want to chime in? You're just hanging out?
No, just, situated, not making noise now.
Love it. All right, the next one right here on my page is connect. Connect with people. This is what I was talking about, being in your vehicle. So you're an F1 driver and you're hauling butt around the lanes, and there's other people out on the lanes, and whether you believe it or not, people want you to succeed, right? Last place doesn't want second place to, well, I have friends that have operated this way before, so I can't speak for everybody. But in our methodology of winning business, making business a win-win, it's about, you may see that driver at the next curve and he's gonna let you know, take a left, or there's some gravel on the road, right? Just like in our pit, we have to have a pit stop. Maybe that pit stop is here, the Paid to Promote group, where I'm at every Wednesday to learn your problems, to share any solutions I found along the way. And in that give and take, we are doing some connecting. But in the prospect list of building high ticket sales, this is what a lot of us are getting tired of right now. You see it on LinkedIn, you see it on Facebook. It's a direct message. Somebody added me. I got a direct message. They want me to join their group and buy something. That is not the way to do it, guys. If you don't start here, get your persona map, have a value identifier, have your journey lined up with assets. Why would people buy from you versus the competition? Why should they care to buy from you versus everybody else? That's a question that can be answered for any business that's providing a good product. If you don't know exactly why, then the reason you don't know why is because you haven't done this work. And if I'm wrong, correct me. If there's any one of you that has done this work that isn't able to have that why that sets your business apart, why someone should buy from you versus somebody else, let's have a talk, because I'm always exploring that, looking for that type of problem in any business. So great, here we are. Now let me flip one of these around. I think it's this guy. And again, I'll get you all that. Stick with me for about, I am out of time. Okay, so stick with me for about 5 minutes and I will run through this 3-part messaging strategy that works with this methodology. So we're gonna build our foundation, build our list, get a whole bunch of people that we wanna talk to, know exactly what we're gonna say, and then connect with them so that we can have that conversation. But we're not gonna say, hey, would you like to buy my product? Hey, buy my stuff. Hey, you haven't hung up on me yet. Are you still there? All right, so pretty easy, guys. Let's hop right in. Oh man, I wish I had my notes. I drew this up really well one time, but essentially what we're doing here, 3-part messaging or message strategy. So for those high ticket sales, when we get our authority and we've knocked out the portions for our foundation and where we're going to build our business, we head into this 3-part messaging strategy. It's really simple. I'll write all 3 parts. Okay, some sort of instant messaging. LinkedIn messages, Facebook messages, text messages, face-to-face messages. Believe it or not, guys, when you're standing next to somebody, you speak to their ear, it's instant message. You don't have to be on Facebook. But for those of you that are out there who would like to connect right now, I want to show you guys a little trick. So, might have showed y'all last time. If you're on Messenger, hit your own picture up here. Okay, and you'll get this funky circle. Hit that funky circle. And any of you out there, if you scan this by going to the same screen and hitting scan code, you can connect directly to someone's Messenger. So for live in-person events like this, definitely should have done my nails today if I'm not getting that close to the camera. Just scan this. If you're in person, you say, oh, hey, yeah, shoot me a message. You show up right in the messenger. You're not connected on Facebook, but you are connected instantly. And you can continue to have messages or conversations from there. Thank you, Casey Everhart, for that fancy, sweet trick. I really enjoyed that one. So, again, this is relationship first. This is not, hey, join my group. This is not anything other than, why? Why should I care? I'm a busy person. Some of you are busy. Some of y'all are watching Netflix instead of paying attention. But some of you are busy. Why should I care? If you're on message, will you tell me why I should care? Okay, that easy. Next part of the strategy, email. Sounds simple. It's not. Email's horrible. Then we have our third strategy, group. Group or top of mind. So email breakthrough. Okay, so through. I can't spell that. There's an H in there somewhere. Okay, 3-part messaging strategy. We have instant messaging, we have email, and we have group top of mind strategy. We use these in a method that lets us have a reason for contacting people that's valuable. When we have our value identifiers and we start building content, maybe it's a white paper, black paper, e-newsletter, PDF, walkthrough, whatever. Maybe it's an ebook. Ebook is great. If you have enough knowledge to put it in an ebook, stop talking about the book you want to write and just put it on paper. There are people that need that help. They're waiting for your benefit there. So this methodology, where can I do this the best? I have to flip this one. Yeah, a piece of paper or something. Sure. All right. I'll be out there on the wall tomorrow. There's nobody out there. I just took the fishbowl room here because we're behind the glass. I can be really loud. All right. So what does that look like? I wanted to share with you about the instant message, email. They're on the wall tomorrow. There's nobody out. The group top of mind strategy. I heard myself from the past over there. That was funny. All right, so maybe we instant message somebody. Maybe it's on Facebook. Okay, so this is like why I should care. Okay, and then we message them Hey, did you see this? So, hey, is your inbox full? Did you happen to miss it? Some people just miss the message, right? So we'll just ask, did we miss the message? Then we give somebody something useful. This is why we need the value identifier. This is part of the 3-part messaging strategy. Here, we can give our ebook, right? But what would be better is if it's a third-party resource that's highly related. So let's say lean back to the coach, to the person who's helping young women who have unhealthy eating habits. Okay, for that coach, maybe it's a report from ABC Health on a Dateline or whatever, right? It helps when this is not a link back to our website or our blog or our YouTube, because then it's like, hey, me. But instead, if we can identify with their values and bring something useful to them, we open up. Remember, this is I am. At this point, we open up the ability for breakthrough. Okay, this is where the lead gen, the prospecting, this is where it really starts to happen. These 3 things usually don't get a whole lot of anything. Sometimes they do. But you'll notice I wrote email and breakthrough because it took years to understand how to break through email. There's a lot of strategies here to getting someone to actually open up that email. And nowadays, I actually use a lot more other methods than just email. We're talking text messages, physical packages that come in the mail, sending someone a card, right, that says thinking of you. An email has, my highest rates are about 30% open rate. Right now, I think we're running at like 32% open rate. Versus I send you a postcard in the mail or a box of cookies, it's got 100% open rate. I've never had anybody. I tried the other day. Somebody sent me a package and I stared at it and I said, what would it take for me to never open this? And I set it on my table in front of the TV in the bedroom where I know I'm going to see it at night. And I couldn't even get to the other side of my office or the other side of my house without thinking where my office is, without thinking, I really just want to know what's in that box. And when I cracked it open, it was actually something from a friend, just like I'm talking about. They had sent a package with a picture of a starfish on it. Ask me about that starfish. It has changed my life. But anyhow, very exciting. Way to get through the email is either breakthrough email, having a strategy that gets you through the email. Sometimes that's a kick down strategy. If you're working in sales, maybe you're selling hardware components. That's somewhere I came from. I never would go to the office manager. The office manager is the one who makes the decision on whether or not they need the new printer, right? I sold a different type of hardware, but to keep it simple, an office manager would maybe decide on whether or not they're going to spend 30 grand on this year's new printer, this decade's new printer, or what have you. Ultimately, once he says yes, he's going to go to the CFO. The CFO is going to say it's not in the budget, and then the deal's dead, right? And there's months and time and all this strategy and everything that went into it. So instead of connecting with the office manager, I do a knockdown on this whole thing. So this whole methodology, I start with the CEO. I want to connect with you. Now the CEO is going to knock me down to the CFO because the CFO is in charge of spending. So now I'm at the person who I want to get the appointment with. This email essentially says, hey, I like being connected, but I prefer to meet with people. I prefer to actually get to know people one-on-one. When would it be a good time to spend 10 minutes in a coffee conversation or come by the office or what have you? It also can just be, if you do software as a service and you're trying to just get them to have a conversation with you about your software, it could also just be a reminder. Hey, I shot you a message on Facebook, but I know how that gets filled up pretty quick. I grabbed your email and wanted to connect with you here. Reply and let me know that I got through to the right place or what have you. Then we invite to the group. So here I said, and many of you are in a group, that exposes this methodology. I want to stay top of mind with you guys so that I can continue to have big challenges in your business and give my best away in this group. I need to have good information, or else I won't be solving problems that need to be solved. And in that same respect, I want to teach you guys that if we come in here, we ask what are the top 5 problems you're having, and then we take the answers to those problems and I send you this webinar, right? And I say, hey, here's the answers to those 5 problems. And I ask you, knowing what you know now, 1, if you find this useful, can you bring somebody else? And 2, knowing what you know now, what are your new problems? We're doing this again next Wednesday. That's a way to keep top of mind. Again, this all plugs in to the nurture strategy, where we are essentially hitting with campaigns and infotainment. Information that entertains, right? And I try to do this about 5-to-1 ratio. So we use this to book the appointment, to get them into the group, top of mind. Oh, you can't even see the bottom of my stage there. Get them into the group, top of mind, breakthrough email or postcards, gifts, goodies, corporate gifts, stuff like that. In the corporate world, that was what I always did, coffee cups. Send you a personalized coffee cup with a picture of you at the event, me and you hanging out, having a good time, all that good stuff. All right. Use that to get people into your group to stay top of mind. Maybe you don't have a group. Maybe it's your newsletter. Maybe it's your local meetup. Again, all these strategies can be used in a variety of methods. So that concludes our 4 pillars. Now, I told you what we were going to learn. Then I told you. And now I'm going to tell you why, right? And I think that we should always follow that. If you're doing these webinars you're teaching, tell people what you're going to teach them, and then tell them why. This is the exact method that I've used for the past 4 years to book my schedule end to end with ideal buyers, high quality prospects that are looking to purchase our products and get in bed with us in business for their business. It's a win-win scenario if you set this up properly, right? You set it up, your business has a value to bring. You identify who you can be helping. You build a large list of those, let's say 100 people. And then these are your dream 100. These are the number 1 top ideal prospects. And then you relentlessly focus on messaging through building the relationship, getting through, breaking through email or whatever it is, breaking through their front door with a package with their name on it. If you sell, I've got a couple of people here in the room with us, and then I've got a couple of you online that I see that some of our businesses are handmade goods, right? Where there's a lot of investment that goes into that, time, energy, resource. And so you can use these same methods on the people that have already purchased from you in order to garner more trust from people who are more likely to purchase from you in the future. We use that as called social proof. And so all these strategies, again, this is for high ticket sales, but it can be booked into your business, whether you're selling, it doesn't matter, really. This is a repeatable, reliable system. The only thing is you have to work it. Why do it this way? It's because this way has a system of working. This isn't just something I'm teaching. This is something that I learned coming down the ranks from Chet Holmes, who is a Fortune 500 repeat visitor. His consulting clients have been there time and time and time again. This comes down the line from many of the top marketers, right? So this is it's a grouping of those strategies, and it is what works in my business to book consistent appointments. I want to see your results. If you're having trouble, full screen how to play the sound. Oh, sorry, Corey. If you want to see our results, book a one-on-one consultation. There's the About link. It gives you 30 minutes on our calendar. I'll ask you 5 questions about your business, and we'll get started. in a quick session. It's painless unless your business is really ugly, and then I might tell you your business is really ugly and it might hurt a little, but we'll get through it together. See you on the inside. If you're watching this on Facebook, grab the Zoom link and we'll be up for about another 15 minutes to go through your questions one-on-one. See you guys here next week, same time. See you at the top or to the left for all my crypto lovers. Pause this live.